Anyway, let's get into some more hot topics after hearing those angelic voices through all Scoop singles. Tyre Nichols.
Joe, we're learning more about what happened in the deadly arrest of Tyre Nichols. The 29-year-old black man died 3 days after being allegedly beaten by 5 police officers during a traffic stop in Memphis, Tennessee. This happened earlier this month. Now, a preliminary autopsy report is revealing what may have caused his death.
Oh, Vicky, that independent autopsy done by the family on behalf of the family and their attorneys found that Nichols suffered extensive bleeding caused by a severe beating. And the family and their attorneys say that that is consistent with what they saw on that body cam footage that they viewed earlier this week. They've also said that
this is an unfortunate story. I remember when I first heard about it, I didn't really pay much attention. I really thought it was, just another incident where maybe a black guy pulled a weapon out on an officer or something of the sort. I didn't really read the story. I just assumed what I wanted to assume, and I was more than wrong. I was more than wrong in my assumption that this was, a crime that went wrong, where the officers had to catch the bad person. The bad person ends up having weapons that they're not supposed to have and ends up getting killed by officers, is what I thought. Apparently, clearly, that was not the case because Tyre is dead, and Tyre was killed by several 6 feet tall and more police officers. These officers have all bailed out of jail by this point, but imagine the weight that they had to have on this 145-pound boy if they are all officers on the Scorpion team. They're built like quarterbacks. They're built like brick walls. All these guys are built like they stuffed their bodies with footballs. Seriously. And they are beating this boy like a boxer bag. Like those boxer bags that you hit and the head is hanging and you just punch the red thing. That's how they were punching this boy head. And I find it just totally ridiculous. Another thing that I wanted to say is I've had more issues with white cops, with black cops than I have white cops. And I know I seen that reel on Instagram of a girl saying that, and I had to think about it for a moment and say, you know what? That is true for me too. I've had more issues with black cops than I have with white cops. And it's fucking ridiculous that the badge overrides the skin color and you don't even know that you're just a few decades or a bit of years away, but not too far down the line, a few grandmas away from not even being able to sit your black ass right there with that badge on you. And you have a nerve to be nasty, mean, and messed up with your ways, beating this boy up as if you don't even know that you have on a blue outfit to protect people, not to beat the hell out of this boy for no reason. It's going to come out that there was a personal vendetta behind why he did that. Something that a lot of people are talking about is the white guy that tased him. At first I couldn't understand the significance. I'm like, you know what? Clearly, if you look at the video, visibly the white guy is not there during the beating. He tased him and all. But here's what the white guy said: I hope they stomp you out.
The 6th Memphis officer has now been fired following Nichols' death in a hospital 3 days after his arrest. ABC's Ellen Lopez joins us now. And Ellen, this is the white officer that Tyre Nichols' stepfather told us the family believed should have been charged.
Yeah, Janae, that's right. Good morning to you. Tyre Nichols' family tells me they want to see everyone in those videos held accountable for their actions. Now, Preston Hemphill is one of the first officers seen confronting the 29-year-old. Memphis police stating that officer violated several department policies, including truthfulness and the rules on handling a stun gun. Now, when you take a look at this video, he's the white officer seen using that stun gun during the first police interaction with Nichols. And after Nichols runs off, he is heard saying he hopes they stomp him. 5 other officers, all black, were fired and now face second-degree murder charges. So far, Hemphill has not been charged.
So with him saying that after the guy got away, after he tased the guy, Tyre took the shirt off and took off running. They chased Tyre down and beat his ass. Ooh, let me stop cussing, I'm sorry. And beat him up, I got so upset, until he was black and blue and dead. And I think that is totally ridiculous, that it took all of that, as if you are not Memphis cops and Martin Luther King's blood is not in the concrete of Memphis. As if Martin Luther King and all these black men who are now older or dead didn't run and riot through Memphis due to Dr. King's death and due to the racism that they got tired of enduring. And y'all do things like this and don't even give a about. Let me stop because I'm so pissed off about it, and don't even care one lick a bit about how you conducted and handled yourself with this badge on. So yeah, I think that the white guy should be charged because we don't know what blow took him out. It could have been a combination of beatings, and although the taser, I would feel like, is a right method, you didn't want him to use a gun, but the taser is a proper method to use to make this person stop. And so I didn't really find the white man had done anything wrong until I heard him say, I hope they stump you out, or I hope they stump him out. That was a bit far. So it made you seem like you were part of it, because the taser, they're saying that he died from being beat up badly. I believe that's what they said, the autopsy said. Then that would probably mean that everybody who touched him in this whole ordeal, even the taser, would probably have to be charged or looked at like, did you kill this boy on purpose?
Now, this comes just a day after President Biden and his VP met with members of the Congressional Black Caucus to talk about renewed calls for police reform. And take a look at this. A new ABC News Washington Post poll shows that 34% of Americans say they are not confident at all that police are adequately trained to avoid using excessive force. 38% say they are not confident that police treat everyone equally. Now, Hempel's attorney says that they are, quote, regrettable about the firing of his clients, but they say that they will continue to cooperate with authorities. Guys.
So I just want people to focus more so on the beating and the black men who did it, and focus on the investigation and see what blow took Tyre out. We need to worry about the fact that this is a black on black crime, and this is unacceptable. And you know, the crazy part is the Scorpion team was clearly built. The Scorpion team was clearly built to combat gang members and to scare them back. Oh, okay, I don't want to eat. I'm sleepy. I'm over here. My eyes closed. The Scorpion team was created to go into the hood, where the hood is, and kind of combat the craziness there in the hood. And they succeeded, you know, because a lot of people are saying, you know, that they've been abused, they've been ran up on, and this is what these men are known for: hopping out the car, jump. And you know what, I'm not going to be surprised if the Scorpion team is the same team that snatched these boys out of this car in Atlanta, because the chief of police in Memphis was the chief of police in Atlanta. She created the Scorpion team in Atlanta and moved to Memphis and got on their team of policing, became chief of police there, and brought the Scorpion team there. So I would not be surprised if the Scorpion team, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the Scorpion team is the team that was out for the curfew in Atlanta when the George Floyd protest was going on, and they snatched the girl and the boy out of the car on live television.
This incident happened near one of the main entrances of Centennial Olympic Park during a demonstration protesting brutal treatment by police. The young man behind the wheel of this car drew attention from police as he tried to record cell phone video of Saturday's demonstration. He slowly drove up. But Officer Ivory Streeter's body cam video shows Streeter chasing the car. Then body cam video shows another officer hitting the car window with a baton. Then police confront the passenger, Tanaya Pilgrim, who doesn't exit immediately because the car is moving. The video shows Officer Mark Gardner responding with his taser.
It was a vicious act. The tasing, it went on for some time while she was shaking and screaming.
Seconds later, the driver, Messiah Young, gets the same treatment through a broken car window. He's later thrown to the asphalt, breaking his wrist and opening a gash, requiring 21 stitches, according to Fulton DA Paul Howard.
And no firearm was ever located in the vehicle.
Howard says his office is charging 4 police officers, Lonnie Hood, Willie Sauls, Ivory Streeter, and Mark Gardner, with felony aggravated assault and other charges. Officers Armand Jones and Roland Cloud face lesser charges in the same incident.
I feel a little safer now that these monsters are off of the street and no longer able to terrorize anyone else from this point on.
I hope every police officer who thinks it's okay to drag someone, beat someone, do all this stuff because they're cops, I hope they're all gonna be held accountable as well. and be safe, everyone, please.
Tased him, abused them, manhandled them aggressively for no reason as they are in their car driving home. I mean, literally, they can't be driving home, and it doesn't matter. The streets, you can't expect everybody to be inside. What are you going to do, lock me up for it? Well, all those men lost their jobs, but they were all reinstated their jobs. So with them being reinstated their jobs, people have this phobia that, you know, officers are just going to be reinstated their jobs. They do stuff like this, they'll be reinstated. Somehow the government or their attorney is going to holler about PTSD or what possibly it could be that would have made them go this route. I don't think there's absolutely no explanation as to why they would have beat the life out of this boy. Okay, there's no other word to say but they beat the life out of him, because those are facts. They beat the life out of him and disregarded his badly bruised and battered body. Completely disregarded it. Another thing that I wanted to say is watching this boy get beat up by this pack of hyenas was like watching them kill another hyena. It was like watching them kill their brother. It literally was. And it's not that same feeling in your heart and in your stomach, like, you know, watching a white man hurt your brother. It's like, okay, it's like, it's hurtful, but it's a different kind of hurt watching these black men beat up this little skinny black boy. And then there are black men who's supposed to be at least on our side in this situation. See, I almost cussed. This situation really pisses me off. You would think that they would want to lose their jobs for breaking the rules on behalf of black people rather than lose your job because you beat up a black person and you're black. I think that when they put on this blue suit, they forget the color they skin. It's completely out of the window. So all this Black Lives Matter stuff don't be mattering to them. You know why? Because who stops an officer when they knock these people to the ground and they body slam these girls, or they push these old folks to the ground, or whatever, have the horse knock them over and shit? What black officer do you know, or have we ever seen on camera? Okay, well, we have seen that one officer, that lady who sent them officers home for excessive force. On the spot, completely sent them home, and then she ended up getting in trouble for doing that or for embarrassing them, and then they ended up fixing the whole situation.
And we begin in Fort Lauderdale, where a police officer is off the job tonight after he's caught on video shoving a woman who was on the ground yesterday.
Disturbing images of a police officer appearing to shove a kneeling protester, and this. A woman left hurt and bleeding during Sunday's clash in Fort Lauderdale is raising questions about how police responded. And after a peaceful demonstration on March Sunday over the death of George Floyd while in Minneapolis police custody, Officer Steve O'Harens is suspended for doing this afterwards.
That officer has been removed from any contact with the public. He is relieved from duty, basically, while this matter is investigated.
At the same time, Officer Crystal Smith is being credited for calling out O'Harens after he's seen pushing that protester.
That's what our job is to do, is to intervene and return peace to whatever environment is going on.
So I do remember that. I'll give her that. But it doesn't happen too often. It should happen so often, because then when it happens so often that another officer is correcting another officer or putting another officer under arrest for breaking the law, while you're on duty, you're under arrest because you just broke the law in my face, then nobody's going to correct themselves. You're going to continue to have two officers riding together. One got an evil heart and the other one is going to turn evil because she too scared to tell this one to stop using excessive force. Somebody got to break the cycle. When one break the cycle, the next one, then in the police force, they'll feel like I can't do wrong, or my partner is going to be the one to stop me, because it's common that officers arrest other officers or ticket other officers, but it's not common. It's not common. I'm your coworker. We work together. We buddies. Shoot. We warming up our plate together in the lunch room. You know what I'm saying? And we bumping butts with each other all the time. So I get it. It's hard to not befriend your coworker and say, I'm gonna arrest you when I see you breaking the law, or I'm gonna give you a ticket when you're breaking the law. Hell, my mama is an officer, and every time she show her badge, they don't give her a ticket. They let her off the hook. No guns allowed in the church. She showed a badge. Okay, go ahead. She got a gun in the church. No guns allowed in the concert hall. She show her badge. Okay, she get to go ahead and go. And that's just what they do. Instead of holding other officers accountable, like, you know what? No, you can't. There's a rule here, and I just can't let you do it. I'm the only officer here permitted to have this gun in this building. Period. But no, other officers are not going to hold other officers accountable, and that's why we're going to keep running into this roadblock like this. We're going to discuss that more a little later. I want to get into some more music, guys. Like I said, this is not going to be a long show. I have a lot more music coming up. We got some Karen Clark Sheard, some Kim Burrell, and B Slade. Don't hate, appreciate. Okay, if you complain about B Slade, you can get on and kick it. Bye. Because we playing B Slade every show. I'm sorry. Shirley Murdoch and Dawn Hogg, Dietrich Haddon, Faith Evans, Don Lawrence, and more. More music than talking. Okay, I'm doing more music than talking. I used to do more talking than music, but I'm gonna do more music than talking this season. More music than talking. Anyway, yeah, we'll be right back, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell. Hit that thumbs up. Make sure you hit the bell so you can be notified every time we go live. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will be right back. This is the Sunday Flow Show right here on the Urban Binge Radio podcast.
And here's another praise jam.
Right here on
the Urban Binge Radio. Sunday Flow.
When I say I was married to the cause, I was married to my husband whom I loved. I learned to love. It wasn't love at first sight. But I also became married to the cause. It was my cause, and that's the way I felt about it. And so when my husband was no longer there, then I could continue in that cause, and I prayed that God would give me the direction for my life, to give me the strength to do what it was, and the ability to do what it was that He had called me to do. And I was trying to seek what is it that I'm supposed to do now that Martin is no longer here. And I finally did.
You're listening to the Urban Binge Radio. Sunday Flow.
Philly classic. Philly neo soul classic.
Love. There's so many things I gotta tell you, but I'm afraid I don't know how. 'Cause there's a possibility that you'll look at me differently, love. Ever since the first moment I spoke your name, from then on I knew that by you being in my life, things were destined to change. 'Cause love, so many people use your name in vain. Love, for those who have faith in you, sometimes go astray. Love, through all the ups and downs, the joy and hurt. Love, for better or worse, I still will choose you first. You know, Jeff, many days I've longed for you, wanting you, hoping for the chance to get to know you, longing for your kiss, for your touch, for your feel, for your essence. Many nights I've cried from the things you do. Felt like I could die from the thought of losing you. I know that you're real, with no doubts and no fears and no questions.
Right here on
the Urban Binge Radio. Sunday Flow.
So many people use your name in vain. Love, those who have faith in you, sometimes At first love didn't mean that much to me, but now I know that you're all I need. The world looks so brand new to me. Now that I found love, every day I live for you, and everything that I do it for you. What I say is how I feel, so believe it's true. You got to know I'm true. So many people use your name in vain. Those who have faith in you sometimes go astray. Through all the ups and downs, the joy and hurts, for better or worse, I still want you to So many people use your name in vain. Love. Those who have faith in you go astray. Through all the ups and downs, joy and hurts. Love, 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 love. For those who have faith in you, sometimes go astray. Love, 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 love.
And here's another crazy jam.
Right here on
The Urban Binge Radio. Sunday Flow.
That's why we're here tonight, just because of love. Because we believe in you. We believe in you. You're incredible musician. You've gone all over this world. You're incredible, man. You're incredible spirit. Jeff Bradshaw, you are the man. But those who have faith in you, they will never, never go astray. You preach with that thing. You love with that thing. God gave you how to play that thing. No, 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 no. Those who have faith in you, those who have faith in you.
Thank you guys again for tuning in. I want to talk a little bit more about Tyre Nichols' mom. Tyre Nichols' mom said she was not there to help her son as he screamed out to her. I want to play this interview and what Tyre mom said to Don Lemons on CNN, how, she was just heartbroken that, to hear that her son was calling out for her. Although she's not watched the video, she was heartbroken to hear that her son had called out for her, was calling out for her, and she was unable to be there for him, to help him, which really totally just, broke her heart and took her to another level, which I completely 100% understand. You not being there to help your son, but knowing he was screaming for you to help him, and you could not hear him. He was too many miles away. That's so unfortunate. He took off running in hopes to make it to his mom home. But let's play Tyre's mom interview, which had me bawling, crying. Listen to what she had to say if you haven't heard it.
To know that their child was calling them in their need, and I wasn't there for him. Do you know how I feel right now? Because I wasn't there for my son. I was telling someone that I had this really bad pain in my stomach earlier, not knowing what had happened. But once I found out what happened, that was my son's pain that I was feeling. And I didn't even know. But for me to find out that my son was calling my name and I was only feet away and did not even hear him, you have no clue how I feel right now. No clue. It's funny. He always said he was going to be famous one day. I didn't know this is what he meant, but we want justice for my son. Justice for my son.
Justice for Tyre. Justice for Tyre. Justice for Tyre. Justice for Tyre.
And you know what? And this is so sad. And I'm not surprised that she hasn't listened to it. I wouldn't be able to watch it. It would probably pull an anger out of me that I've never experienced or never thought I had inside of me. So I can completely understand her suppressing that by not wanting to watch that video. Although I know one day before she dies, she probably will watch the video, or she may pass on in life and never watch that video. It's so unfortunate that she had to face this, and this is something I was talking about before on my Rico Live stream. I really want us to be careful of what we allow in our spirit. You know what I'm saying? Don't watch all these videos. Hear the remnants, hear the video, hear what happened, protest. But I don't think you want to watch the whole video, because when you watch the whole video, it may pull something out of you unless you know how to control and help yourself. You know what I'm saying? And some people who do know how to control and help themselves just don't want to feel that feeling of anger or that feeling of sadness, deep sadness from watching the video. So I can completely understand people, just not wanting to watch it, not wanting to, hear it or see it at all. And that was something about Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry didn't want it to enter his spirit. You have to watch what you enter your spirit. Don't watch certain things. Don't listen to certain things. Really be cautious about what you are allowing to enter your body, just like food. Really be cautious of it. Tyler Perry said he's unable to watch it for his own peace, sanity, and his own mental insanity. He wants to refrain from watching the video, although he's heartbroken and super saddened to hear this. He really is distraught by this situation. I really don't want to read everything Tyler Perry said, but Tyler Perry said, I said I wouldn't watch that video, Tyre Nichols. I said for my own peace of mind, for the sake of my own sanity, for my hope for what's left of the human race, I would not watch the awful murder of another black man. This time I would refuse. I wanted to have the luxury of many people in the world who can just turn it off with ease. Many people can't imagine it happening to them because honestly, it never will. I was determined to see what that space felt like for once. I would cover my ears and not let in the outside. I knew it wasn't possible because when some people hate the outside, it doesn't matter what's on the inside, even if what's in there looks like them. So today, I will cry, I will be depressed, I will curse, I will be outraged, I will want to burn some shit up. I will be in agony. I will let my heart break for his family, and I will moan with his tenor harmony from my own experience that is every black man that's ever called for the safety of the arms of mama. I will inaudibly scream. But somewhere in the wrestling between the moon and the sun for the right to deliver light as if one is good and the other is evil, in that hour, I will get quiet. Then I will be still. I will weep, and then I will pray. And with the morning light, no matter who tried to dim it, I will get up and I will fight on. Tyler Perry. My God, he said that. He truly said that. He looked just like George Floyd in this photo. Tina Lawson, wow, Tyler, I struggled with whether to watch also, but I was compelled to make myself watch it. So at 12:10 a.m., I watched one. As a result, I have slept very little. I've been gripped with sadness and pain. His beautiful, gracious mother feeling sorry for the emotional damaged men that could be so cold and abusive to do this to her son. Tyre having hope that his mother would feel his calling for her. Just beyond heartbreaking, there has to be a change in training. There has to be more psychological testing to see if police can handle the authority that comes along with this job. Where was the compassion for another fellow black man? Where was the compassion for another black man? I couldn't watch it, y'all. To be honest, I have not watched it. I've seen a couple of clips from it, but I can't watch it. Jay wants me to watch it. I can't. There's no way possible I'm gonna be able to conjure up the spirit to be able to watch this. It's so gruesome how they did him. Just from the few clips that I've seen, there's no way possible I'm gonna be able to stomach or just, oh my God, I would catch a headache. Every time I think about it, I get pissed. I hope they lift the jail up, put them under it, and just drop it on them. I need a load to be on them. I'm talking about, honestly, if the death penalty could be there, they should die, because lucky they get to die quickly. He couldn't die quickly. He died slowly and in pain, okay? And these guys, if they got the death penalty, they're not going to die slowly. They'll eventually get out and be forgiven by God, and they all should be forgiven by us. And this is what I mean by love. We are so far from loving our brother and our sister. God is going to forgive these men and love them even right now in their sorrow, because they're sorrowful right now. And a couple of them are. And God is with them right now. God is with them. God is with them even if they're callous about it. God is with them. He didn't say that when they walk across the street, the bus ain't gonna hit them. He didn't say that. But he is with them. He is with us. And that is unconditionally mad love. That's what that is. Seriously, God loves us unconditionally. And this is just so unfortunate that this happened to him. It breaks my complete heart. You know, and this is another example of how far away we are from loving the way God intended for us to love, and the way the Bible speaks about it. The way they speak about it in the Bible makes it so serious, like a very sacred, real topic, a real thing that is not like what we have made it today. It's literally a common word to just use, wherein then that was a very sacred word, it seemed like, and we are very far from actually performing what it really truly means, the way God intended for us to love.
The Urban Binge Radio Podcast,
where we discuss viral topics, hot jams, new artists, fun, and informative interviews and conversations. This is your news stop for the hottest trend in urban culture news. 2 shows, 1 podcast, The Urban Binge Show and Sunday Flow Show, powered by The Urban Binge.
The Urban Binge Radio Podcast. Listen anywhere podcast can be heard.
Haters like, am I going to hell for the things that I could wear? I ain't gonna hide my blessings when I know